Hi everyone, welcome again to our channel. This time we will have another learning session, another learning tips to offer to you, our dear students, especially in the new normal of education we have here in the Philippines. So this time we are going to talk about different techniques or tips and how to overcome your fear in speaking in public. No? So one example of speaking in public or speaking in a huge number of audience, especially in the online class, is when you have your oral presentation. When your teacher assign you to have your oral presentation by group or individual presentation. So this time we are giving you our tips. No, these are very helpful, especially when you are having your reporting. This is what we call class reporting. You are giving, you are delivering information of a certain topic. Ikaw ay nagbibigay ng impormasyon sa iyong mga kaklase at dyan ay nanonood sila, nakikinig sila sa mga sinasabi mo. So, not only you are experiencing or having some struggles and hardship when you talk in front. So this time, it is a great help for you to learn from these different tips or techniques that we could offer for an online class student, or even when we go back again to our face-to-face classes. So just finish the entire video so that you will be having this kind of tips to our dear students. So we have 4 tips to offer, which starts with letter P. So there are 4 P's to offer to you, our dear students, on how to overcome your fear, your nervousness when you speak in public, when you speak with a huge number of audience, especially in an online class. So our first tip here in our list, now we have our list here down below. We have number 1, which is very important, is prepare. So the word is prepare. From the word pre, it means before. So before you go or you will have your presentation, bago tayo magsimula sa ating presentation, sa oral presentation, of course, we need to have our preparation. No, before the speaking engagement, before your schedule, oral presentation or reporting. No? So meaning to say, your talk needs to be prepared. No? So, kailangan maghanda para ma-deliver po natin yung mga topics or content that we are being asked by our teacher. So, what to prepare? No? So, you need to ask yourself, what to prepare? What is your objective and what is your goal? So, what is your goal in having this presentation? Of course, you are given such content. So, your goal, your objective is to deliver it clearly. And of course, you need to satisfy your classmates or the audience that you will have. Okay? So the rule of the thumb here is, of course, you only need to talk. For example, you only need to talk 30 minutes. Of course, you will be given time. No? Ikaw ay bibigyan ng yung guro ng allotted time. For example, that's 30 minutes. That is a good enough number of time. So that 30 minutes presentation, you need to use that, utilize that, no? So that you can deliver such information, such content or knowledge or wisdom to your classmates. But to that 30 minutes preparation, 30 minutes discussion needs to have more than 30 minutes of preparation. No? It might be more than 1 hour of preparation. So you do research. No, you need to make a good foundation of your discussion. So because you cannot speak when you are not prepared. That is the policy. That is our rule here, no? When you are in the presentation already, you cannot speak it clearly. You cannot deliver the content appropriately when you are not prepared. So in our list, no, you cannot speak if you are not prepared in your preparation. So every one of us may experience some difficulties. We have some nervousness, no? We experience being nervous because that is not our daily routine, that we need to speak in some other individuals. In my case also, I have that experience, no? When we have our face-to-face classes, of course, no, nobody of us who will not experience this kind of nervousness, social anxiety, or being frightened, or sometimes you cannot speak it anymore because you did not prepare. So it's so normal, no? Everybody really experience anxiety, anxiousness when you are tasked to talk with a huge number of audience, no? Even facing to your classmates, no? In the face-to-face classes, no? Even as teachers, no, we also have to feel that kind of nervousness. So we also prepare. So the number one tip that we can offer to you, my dear students, to all who are watching here, your number one tip is to prepare. Okay, we are not that superhuman. Sometimes we really feel that that anxiousness, that nervousness, no? So you have to be afraid, no? You have to be afraid, no? If you are no longer afraid, no? Imagine what does it mean, no? Kaya you must be afraid if you are no longer afraid. What does it mean? Anong ibig sabihin nito, no? Ikaw ay matakot kung hindi ka na natatakot dahil minsan it will cause arrogance or overconfidence. So you need to feel that anxiety, that nervousness in our nerves, so that it will serve as our inspiration, no? That we can still feel that there is something lacking, there is something that we need to improve, no? Because if we feel that we are no longer afraid, sometimes it may cause us the overconfident, and sometimes we look into the lapses or the loopholes of our preparation, of our presentation. So again, I repeat, the number one number one tip that we could offer is to prepare. So that's the first letter P, prepare. Our second tip is practice. So this is very common. So when you all know that your schedule will be next week or the following week, so do not wait for that week to come for you to prepare and to practice. So this time, you make your schedule and have practice. No, constant practice will make your presentation of that good quality of the content that you want to deliver. No, practice in front of the mirror. That's in my experience, no, when I was a student, when I will prepare, kung ako ay nagpre-prepare ng aking report, no, that is a very common activity of education student or student in college or even in high school. We are asked to have oral presentation or reporting. So what I did is I make a schedule for me to practice, no. Sometimes I look into a mirror. I consider the mirror that I am looking into are my audience. They are my classmates. They are my that which is our teachers also part of that. So I rehearse, no. Nagre-rehearse ako sa harap ng salamin para or you can have another one, no, or your board mates, or your friends, no. You would like to ask them to listen to your presentation so that they could have their advice, their comments, their feedbacks on the preparation that you are going to present during the time that you are assigned already to report, to have your oral presentation. So if you don't have friends or you have difficulty to find friends, or you need to improve more in your presentation, you can record yourself. No, you can record yourself and send that one to anybody that will watch again your presentation so that they can also give you their feedback, their constructive criticism. So by that, no, constant rehearsal, no, or practice will also improve the way that you're going to present. No, imagine when you are practicing, no, for example, a dance, a song, no. When you do constantly that practice, of course, it will always register in your mind. That is what we call the muscle memory. Kung palagi natin nire-rehearse, palagi tayong nagpa-practice, definitely and eventually makukuha na natin to. There's no need for us to think about it because it will just become part of our system and it will just go out of our mind, and therefore we can deliver the lesson or the task that being asked to us to present. Okay? So don't forget to practice, no? Your muscle memory will be developed, no? The conditioning of your mind will be there always, and that's the benefit of practicing. So whatever you want, no, whatever you want to present, to do, you need to have a time for you to practice, no? So you act like you are doing already the presentation. So that's our second tip. Our second tip, again, I repeat, it's practice. So that's the second P. Now let's proceed to our third tip, which is another letter P, and that is pause. Pause. No, you need to breath. No, breath. No, it's normal to pause. No, pause to contain yourself, to contain your nerve when you have already your presentation. On the day of the presentation, there's no need for you to speak it fluently, no, because you are being conscious because you have nothing to say. Sometimes you will have your interjection, no. Sometimes there is a mannerism that you will be having, no. For example, you are talking and then you forget what will be the next sentence that you are going to deliver, no. Your mind is now already constructing and you are very anxious that you need to speak again and to have another sentence in your mind that will your mind are still constructing it. So there's a need for you to pause. So there's no problem in pausing. Probably your classmates, your teacher will be asking some question in the presentation. So when you are being asked, you need to pause for you to process the information now in your brain, no. So when you are asked, probably will be constructing the answer in your mind. Probably you can say to your classmates or to the one who is asking, especially your teacher, you will say, you will tell that I've never been asked by that question, no? Meaning to say, hindi pa ako natatanong ng ganung tanong. So that's a way of technique, no, of processing of your mind while you are still constructing it, no, giving a lot of time. So you need to pause and break. Don't afraid to think, no? To think, no? You think before you speak. So that is why pause, breath is very important, no? Stamp a bit, a little while, so that it will gather information. Your brain will just process everything. So you need to have a pause and be comfortable of those pauses, no? Sometimes, no, wala talagang magaling na tao kahit na even the professional person who is having a public speaking engagement may also have this kind of technique. They really pause. And like in my case, when I do this video, I also pause for me to construct and to compose and contain myself to what will be the next idea or statement that I'm going to have. No, in my case also I have some experiences of being afraid to talk with a lot of people. So when I do this video tutorials, no, I also have several cuts, several pause because I need to think about of another statement that I will make. So it is like the same with the oral presentation. You also need to pause. So that's, I think we have already 3, and our last, but it's also important, is number 4 tip, another letter P for you, dear students, to overcome your nervousness when it comes to speaking in front of people. Number 4 is pardon yourself. So what does it mean when you say pardon? Meaning to say you need to forgive yourself. Everybody commit mistakes, no? So when you commit mistakes, no, when you are talking, you're already presenting, probably there are some grammatical errors. Sometimes you are very conscious of the grammar, especially in the subject-verb agreement, and that's normal. Everybody commit mistakes. Even the professional public speaker or those who are professional, who are always doing public speaking, they also commit mistakes. Remember, no, hindi masama ang magkamali. But do not point out your mistakes when you have your presentation. Like this one. Example, do not point out that you have committed a mistake. For example, ma'am, take two for a while because I think I was wrong with that statement. So, do not point out and let it be. You know? Ang importante ay maka-surpass ka, matapos mo ang statement mo. Probably, you will be telling that instead of using he, you mention it she. So, if it is not that noticeable mistake, just continue and do not let other or the audience identify or determine that you have already committed the mistakes. Because when you have public speaking, no, sa public speaking, no, rarely makikita yung mali mo because they cannot review it anymore. Unlike in writing, it's easy for them to identify your mistake. But in public speaking, no, if the mistake is not that noticeable, just continue, no? So, maikli ang buhay, no? Don't point out your mistakes. Probably these mistakes that we commit when we have our presentation, no, are not being noticed. No? Example, if you still remember when you have your presentation in your elementary years, your teachers, they could no longer identify your mistake, but that mistakes are sometimes unforgivable, no, to us. So tayo kasi kapag nagka-commit tayo ng mistakes, sometimes it is really hard for us to forget that mistake. But even other people no longer remember that mistake. No, most of the time when we make mistakes, we really remember. Again, I repeat, when we make mistakes, we always remember those mistakes, but do not point it out. So, I think we are done already with the 4 important tips or techniques on how to overcome your nervousness or your struggles when you have your presentation, your oral presentation in the class, in the online class. So, I hope that you have learned from these learning tips that we offer to you. So, please don't forget to like our video. And you can also share this one to your fellow students who have experienced struggles and hardship in preparing or presenting in oral presentation or what we call class reporting. And again, for those who are just new to this channel, so don't forget to subscribe us and to watch for more videos and other educational and tutorial learning tips. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell for you to be updated of our upcoming videos. You can also comment down below for your suggestions and questions so that we can answer and give us another video or learning tips for you, dear students. So I think that's all. I hope that you have learned from this video. Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day and keep safe, everyone. God bless.